All right, what a difference a month makes. Last time we came to you with our tomato video, everything was looking beautifully and growing, and now things have changed. We've had a very, very wet July, wet and cloudy and cool, and that's one thing that tomatoes definitely hate is wet, cloudy, and cool. We got the blight, the fever, paw. 420 tomato plants literally dying on the vine, and we're gonna show you why rain and cool weather for tomatoes is not good. It's sad, but such is the life of the gardener. Come on, I'll show you. All right, so here we go. All of our hard work for naught. About 3 weeks ago, this started in, and this is called blight, is what we call it, or it's a type of fungus. And what happens is because of the cool weather, the moisture sits on the leaves, and when the moisture and the wet sits on the leaves, the tomato plant doesn't like that. Now, in these plants, you can see the blight starts on the leaves, follows to, you can see the black part on the stems, and then it'll finally follow to the fruit. This is starting, the fruit on this is still salvageable now, as you can see. But we'll go and check out a couple of other plants that, a couple of other types that have just absolutely just been destroyed. And there's things that you can do to it. There's things that you can spray. One of them is called Potilia bordelaise, or the rame, which is sulfur and magnesium mixed together, and you can spray that. The wine industry uses it a lot, and it is considered for biological. You can still use it for bio or organic, call it organic. But we've done that, and it didn't matter. So it's really sad. Now, extreme cases look like this, and here's an extreme one that has just straight gone to rot. Okay, even when we do get fruit that starts to mature, it matures in this way. As you can see, this side of the tomato is kind of green still. This side is overripe, like ripe. So ripe that when I push it, it's very squishy. Also, the splitting of the tomatoes, and that's because the tomato skins can't grow fast enough with all the water it's given. So the tomato splits, and that's not good. And if we open this guy up, you can see, I mean, you can't taste it, but you can see the texture is kind of mealy and mushy, and there's just a lot of water in here. And these aren't really going to be any good for anything because they won't have the flavor. Remember, more water with the same size fruit makes fruit taste washed out. Here's the most extreme example of the blight, what we just talked about, and these are Romano or Roma tomatoes, nano, which means they don't climb the poles like the other ones do. And the reason why this sets it is because they're lower to the ground, and the moisture stays on them a little bit more. And as you can see here, they are totally, the plants just totally died away, and these are total. This is a wash. This is pig food. Of these, I have 85. So we're talking a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, but such is life. However, there are a few varieties that do okay in this kind of climate, and we're going to show you one of them right now. As you can see, here's Cuore di Bue, right next to ones that are absolutely thriving, which are the Ciliegini. And look at the difference in these plants. Right here we have the cherry tomatoes, and right here the Cuore di Bue. The cherry tomatoes are taller than I am, green, lush, looking good. None of the fruit has any damage to it yet, but very, very interesting. So if you live in a cooler climate that has overcast, cloudy, cool summers, maybe cherry tomatoes are the way to go for you. Unfortunately, all I planted was 25 of these. The fruit is not yet maturing. It's maturing very slowly, so look at how small that is. So maybe their growth has been slowed, the fruit, but the foliage has just gone absolutely insane. And that's great, but you can't eat the leaves. All you can eat is the fruit. I learned a lot this year. They say you learn something in the garden every year. And I sure as heck got an education this time. So this year isn't a total loss. The tomatoes might be, but there are things that really like this type of weather. And we're going to show you some things that do, in fact, enjoy the cool, wet, overcast days of summer.